Hello, it's my hope that you are well and you are safe. Welcome to yet another educative session. And today we will not do the norm of discussing a given investment vehicle, but rather I will discuss something else, which I strongly believe that it is important you understand before I even dive so much into many investment vehicles. If you are joining us for the first time, welcome aboard. So we have already discussed the treasury bills, the treasury bonds, and the money market funds. And today I wish to discuss some concept that is related to those investment that it is which is important, which I think is important to have that knowledge. And the concept I wish to discuss today is the concept of diversification. So it's just a basic and simple concept. We just define what it is and why is it important, or why is it necessary. For a definition, diversification can be defined as the practice of spreading your investment around so that your exposure to any given risk is limited. That is a dictionary definition. Now, when we come to the layman definition, which is what we measure with in this platform, so that we speak in a language that anyone can understand. I'm sure you have ever heard someone say that you should not put all your eggs in the same basket. That is the layman definition of diversification. Don't put everything that you have in one place. Don't use don't place all your savings in one investment vehicle. So even for the Christians, you can go and read Ecclesiastes chapter 11. I think it should be verse 2. It talks about diversification, and if you get to read from the Good News Bible, the verse reads that put your investment in several places, many places even, because you never know what kind of bad luck you are going to have in this world. So it's just a precaution. You never know what might happen, what might happen to that particular investment vehicle that you have majored in. So diversification is one of the major ways of dealing with risk. So spreading your investments around many investment vehicles will reduce the exposure from one investment vehicle. We might now get to ask ourselves, why is diversification important? Why do we need to diversify our investments? And simply we mean, if I aim at saving 1,000 at the end of the month, instead of putting that 1,000 into my circle account, why don't I put 500 out of the 1,000 into a circle account and then put the other 500 into a money market fund? That is diversification. Why is it important? So to answer the question of why diversification is important, I might need you to ask some question. So let's start with the basic. I believe even in the year of the Lord 2024, there are people who don't own bank accounts, don't own SACCO accounts, and maybe don't even own M-Pesa accounts. Maybe they want to get touch with that physical money that they own. So let's say they put all their monies under the mattress. So let's say all your savings are placed under your mattress. Then one day you just get to hear that your house has caught fire and the mattress where you had placed all your money has been burnt, what will be your reaction? What will happen? Then the other one, let's say you are in the modern world, you have a bank account, one bank account where you have placed your savings. What will happen when you get news that that particular bank of yours has collapsed? Banks do collapse, so it is not a thing out of this world. We can all agree that banks do collapse. So what will happen when you get to hear the news that your bank has collapsed? So I understand that if a bank collapses, it does not mean that you necessarily use your money. Now that there is the procedures that has been laid down by the Central Bank of Kenya for acquisition and all that. But just getting that news, before you even get to think of the acquisition process and all that, what will be the reaction hearing that the bank where you had placed your money is collapsing? Then what will happen if you hear where the circle where you had placed all your money is collapsing, or you hear that the circle where you had invested all your money, they did not perform well, so they are not giving out dividends, and that is the only return that you are relying on that whole year. So then you get the news that the circle where you had invested, they did not make so good profits, so they are not giving dividends. That means zero returns for your investment. So how will you receive those kind of news? Then let's say you had decided to invest in shares or stocks, which we'll come to discuss later. What if you hear that the stocks for the company that you had invested in, they have dipped in prices? We have seen prices of shares going from 40 shillings way down to 10 shillings. We have had cases where companies has failed, shares prices has dipped to extent of those shares being suspended. So what if you had decided to invest all your money in a particular company by buying shares? Then you get to hear that their prices has dipped and even that company has been suspended. So I'm sure hearing that the institution or the vehicle where you had placed all your savings has gone down, it is a thing that will stress you a lot, and even give you sleepless nights or even high blood pressure. But now think of it that you had 25% of your savings in a bank, you had 25% of your savings in a circle, you had your 25% of your savings in a money market fund, and you had 25% of your savings invested in shares. Unless you have the worst track, it is very hard for all those four institutions to go down at the same time. So even if the circle goes down, the shock will be less because you know that it is only 25% of your savings that has gone down with the circle, compared to when that it is the 100% of your savings that has gone down with that institution that has collapsed. So diversification reduces the exposure to risk. Even if the banks goes down, it is only 25% of your savings that will have gone down with the bank. So even if you have that financial instrument that you really believe in, that you really trust in, there are people who say that I'm a Sacco person, so Sacco is their thing. Others, money market funds are their thing. I believe there is no big institution that it is too big to collapse. Even those guys who are building the Titanic, they thought that the Titanic is so big that even God cannot sink the Titanic, only for the ship to sink on its first journey. So I don't believe that there is an institution that it is too big that it cannot sink. Yes, we have low risk investments, but we don't have that investment that are risk free. So it is good to take caution and don't place all your eggs in one basket. Don't place all your savings in the same investment vehicle. It is good to spread risk. Even if even if one institution goes down, it will not go down with your everything. So diversification is just it's just a risk mitigation method that you should try and adopt. But again, before you go venturing into those different investment vehicles and institution, at least take your time and get to learn about those investment vehicles, those institutions. Try to get even to understand the dark side of that investment, because it will again be dangerous to get to venture into something that you don't understand just in the just in just in the name of trying to spread your risks. You might be taking even more risk than what you are trying to spread. So don't just try to get into different vehicles or institutions. First, take time to get to understand the bright side and the dark side. That's all about the concept of diversification for now, and that's why we'll continue getting to learn and learn more and more investment vehicles, so that we can have a wide range of options. We are just trying to broaden our knowledge base about the investment vehicles that we have in our financial system. So keep hanging around as we get to learn more and more. The more you learn, the more options you have. So until next time, keep learning.